everyone. I'm going to start by passing out your worksheets. So today we are going to go over what we've learned, and we're going to make some connections to Maniac McGee. We are going to go over vocabulary we have learned in the past, and now we're going to learn some new ones, okay? So make sure your name and the date are on your paper before we start. And we're going to listen, participate, we're going to follow directions, okay? Okay. So, all right. We're going to start with the top half. It's the directions say answer the questions and complete sentences. Maniac is on his own and living in an unusual situation. List 3 things that are different between your world and Maniac's. Think about your family, your home, where you live, your school, your friends, etc. So an example that I gave that from the parts that I've heard about Maniac McGee is that he is on his own. He doesn't have any parents. So I'm going to write Maniac McGee has no parents. And then on the part where it says my life, I wrote I have 2 parents. So that's the difference between my life and his life. So you can use that example for one of them. You have 4 spaces and it says write at least 3 things that are different. So go ahead and do that. Make sure you're using complete sentences. Make sure we're using our best handwriting, and we're using capitals and periods. There are 4 spaces. I want you to fill up at least 3. If you can think of a 4th, that's awesome. When you are finished, I know some of you are still working, which is good, but I want you to look up at the board. These are words that you guys have learned previously, whether you knew them before or Ms. Knudsen taught you. I want you to think about them and get ready to talk about them just a little bit. Who can give me an example? My example was that Maniac doesn't have any parents and I have 2 parents. Who can give me another example of how your life is different than Maniac's life? Marcelo. He doesn't have a lot of food and you have a lot of food. That's a very good difference. What else? What else is different? Brandon.
Maniac has no house, but I have a house.
Maniac doesn't have a house and I have a house. What are we noticing about all these? Thomas, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't see your hand. Did you have your hand up? Okay. What are we noticing about these differences? He's got no parents. We have 2 parents. 1 parent. He doesn't have a lot of food. I have a lot of food. He doesn't have a house. I have a house. Thomas.
He's a bum.
He kind of sounds like a bum, for lack of a better word. What do you mean by that?
He's an orphan and homeless or something.
Right. So he doesn't have a lot of the things that we have. Do you think that makes his life easier or harder? A lot harder. Can you imagine having no parents at the age you're at? Because he's about your guys' age, right?
14.
I think he's 14, yeah. So, can you imagine being 14 or your guys' age? Yes, Victor.
He sleeps in an alley, I sleep in a house.
Okay, you sleep, yeah. So, that just goes with saying he's on his own more, right? If he sleeps in an alley and you guys sleep in a bed or in a house. Yeah, Thomas.
Wait.
I sleep on the floor.
What's up?
Is the name where he lives, like, is it in a big city?
Yeah, he is in a city, isn't he?
Fictional city, but I think it's a bigger city.
Alright,
Right.
well, I'm sure he could find some bad houses. Because I'm kind of mentioning anything, like, I've been in bad houses, like, definitely residential.
Yeah.
I'm sure he can find one of those to sleep in. Why is
Derek.
it an alley?
Couldn't he find a place to work like McDonald's?
Yeah. Well,
At 14? Do you think that would be an easy thing?
technically, you can.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
We're still talking about Maniac McGee, right?
Yes.
What era was this book written?
Yeah.
See, there you go. Think about that. This is not 2017.
Yeah, but Chili's has been out for a long time.
So, back to the book. Now, you guys said it would be hard. Can you imagine being 14, having no home, sleeping in an alley, having no parents, and hardly any food?
Yeah.
Do you think that you would be thinking about what you're going to do with your friends that day?
Hamburger helper.
Do you think you'd be thinking about like what you're going to do with your friends?
Well, if it was like right now in Austin and this is me, I'll just go to Salvation Army. Yeah, because they have.
Because we have that stuff. Do you think in the era that this was written or the era that it's based in, do you think they had a lot of the stuff that we
What
have?
is it, era?
Maybe.
It was in the,
Plus a few more pieces.
I don't know the exact one.
but it's like the 40s, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah,
never
because
mind.
they have a black side of town and a white side of town.
Yeah.
So we know it's definitely not now.
They're definitely segregated, and that's not how we are now at all, which is a good thing. But if you think about that, that would be terrible. All right, let's go down. We are going to. I wanted you guys to kind of read over these. Who can read these out loud for me? Brandon.
Is that pandemonium?
Pandemonium. I started off with the hard one. Sorry.
Boyard,
Boulevard.
Maniac,
Maniac.
Beeline,
Beeline.
Blemish.
Blemish. Who can give me either an example or a definition of one of these words? Marcello.
Like Maniac, like a crazy person.
Maniac, so kind of crazy. So why do they call Maniac McGee Maniac McGee? Marcello.
Because on the east and west, they don't really cross where they're not supposed to.
Okay.
Like he just crossed like there was nothing.
Okay, so he just does
It's like
things.
jumping over the border.
Yeah, so like
Word?
he just
No,
does things he doesn't
no.
necessarily think about them, right? Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Yes, Victor.
Wait, what
What's
color?
it on?
What's the second one?
Boulevard.
You know, the front
Any of these words doesn't have to be one of them. It doesn't have to be a certain
front
one.
of your yard.
You can give me an example or a definition.
Boulevard, like the Like the sidewalk.
Kind of like the sidewalk is the
Street.
street. And a boulevard, is it a small street or a big street?
Big street.
Large street.
Oh,
Or I
not.
think they called it a wide
Boulevard
street.
is that little strip of grass right next to that.
Oh yeah, it is.
A boulevard?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
my dad's
Those are
car. Like the
total
front,
dates for that.
the front.
That's true. You're right. That is technically a boulevard. You're right. We'll put some grass too.
Hey yo.
But in this book, it means the street. Okay? What else? Pandemonium, beeline, or blemish? Marcello.
Be like the border from Mexico to Minnesota is from a different side here. Like it's
Okay.
like a beeline from there to there.
So are you taking the long way or are you going straight?
I'm going right over.
Okay, so you're going straight. So a beeline is direct or straight.
I'm beeline.
So if I'm gonna make a beeline for Derek, I'm walking right over to him. I'm not gonna stop over at Victor and talk to him for a little bit. I'm not gonna go to my computer, right? I'm going right to him. What about pandemonium? Who knows what pandemonium is?
I was gonna say it.
There's a lot of pandemonium in the classroom when the kids were all getting candy. Derek.
Excitement.
Okay, that's a good word. Excitement. I like to use the word like chaos, kind of commotion. Ooh, good words. So we'll do excitement.
Yes is the name of.
And what did you say?
Finish.
Commotion. That's right.
A little short midget.
Okay, what about blemish? What is a blemish?
This is where you teach girls.
Kind of, yeah. So it's kind of like a red spot. So it can either be like, well, you guys are getting old enough now. You get maybe like a zit here or there. That can be kind of a blemish, or a blackhead's kind of a blemish. Yeah, or if you're really warm and your cheeks get kind of blemished, they get kind of red. That's kind of what.
It's like when my mom does she likes to my dad's jokes. Her face turns red on the chair.
All right, perfect. Now we are going to go to our sheet. So we have a list of words. I'm going to go over the words for you, and then I'm going to do a couple, and then we're going to do some together, and then you guys are going to do some, okay? So the first word is prospects. The second word, if we go down, is solution. If we go over to the right, asphalt, crowbar, solemnly, blotches, sauerkraut, allergic, hemisphere, and solitude. Okay? So I'm going to go over prospects. Now, if I look, I'm going to read down the definitions, and I know it's not being sensitive. I know it's not a dark colored thing. I'm thinking prospects is anything one expects or looks forward to. So if I am expecting something or I'm looking forward to it, that's prospect. So write that first word on number 6. That first word on number 6.
I got allergies on
You have allergic?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's number 3.
Mm-hmm. The next word I'm going to go over, I'm going to choose solemnly.
Because we can just say
Marcia. I'm going to go over solemnly. I'm going to think about solemn. If I'm feeling solemn, I'm kind of feeling down, or I might not be super excited or super happy. So if I look at all the definitions, I look at number 8. It says seriously or gravely. That's what solemnly means. So number 8 is solemnly. What could be an example of something that you look forward to? Or something that you're going to expect? Victor.
A prospect.
Yeah, exactly. What's an example of it?
Like there's people that you heard are throwing a surprise party for you, and you're expecting it
Okay, so you're on your birthday. You're expecting a party.
Oh, come on. I was just gonna say birthday.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay. What's another thing? There's a lot of things that you can expect or look forward to. Yes, Derek.
What you're not gonna look forward to.
Like, I'm ordering the drone. Like, so my mom told me that she ordered the drone for my birthday.
Okay.
I was like snooping around, seeing if anybody got me anything for my birthday.
So birthday presents. So you're expecting a party and you're expecting presents on your birthday. You guys expect a lot. Marcella.
St. Patrick's Day.
So things like holidays. St. Patrick's Day is a perfect one. If we know it's December and it's getting to be kind of the middle to the end of December, what do we know and can look forward to that is coming up? Christmas. Some of us don't celebrate Christmas, so whatever holiday is at the end of December for you. Okay?
Same.
What about things like, what about if it's getting to be the end of summer and it's starting to get kind of a little bit cooler outside? What can we expect is going to happen? I'm sorry. Snow is going to come sooner or later because we live in Minnesota. Victor.
In the winter, something that you're gonna look forward to is winter break, and another thing that you're not gonna be looking forward to, school.
So if it's the end of summer, and you don't necessarily have to look forward to it like you're excited about it, but something you can expect is school starting, right?
I'd be like, do I have
It'll
to
be
go?
about a month, yeah.
Be like, do I have to
What
go?
is an example of being solemn? Show me on your face. Of solemnly or being solemn. Show me. What's an example of not being solemn?
Man,
I'm agreeing.
But if you're feeling solemn, you're kind of not excited. It could be tired. It could be a different way like that. All right. Let's go over some together. Okay. What is a hemisphere? I'm sorry?
Center of the earth.
Really close. Not quite the center of the earth. Look down at the definitions. Thomas, what do you think?
Half of the earth's surface.
Half of the earth's surface. So a sphere is a circle. It's a 3D circle. And hemisphere means half.
Northern.
Hemi means half. So there's the northern, the southern, the eastern, and the western. Those are perfect examples. So the hemisphere is number 5. Half of the earth's surface. Nice job, Thomas.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is allergic number 3?
We'll go over that.
wait, what number was it again?
Number 5. Half of earth's surface is the hemisphere.
Kind of.
What about the word solitude? What could solitude mean?
It's like trying to like lock up or anything like that and you get in trouble and be like right by yourself. Or if you're like locked or on a deserted island, then you're in solitude.
So those are both examples. So if you're by yourself, locked up, you said you're all by yourself,
Or an island.
or on an island by yourself. What do those two have in common?
You're alone.
By yourself.
You're alone. You're all by yourself. So what does solitude mean?
Alone.
Alone. Look at your definitions. I'm not going to say this one out loud. What does it mean to be in solitude? Look down at your definitions. It might not say the word alone, but there's one that's kind of like it on your sheet.
It's loneliness.
Now, you guys have 6 words left. I tried to leave you with the ones that I thought you might know or have some past experience with. So go through the words, go through the definitions, try to figure them out. Thomas, let's go through yours tonight.
It's not number 3.
I know.
So go over the last 6. Feel free to write them in. I'll be coming around. If you have questions, raise your hand. I'll come around and ask. We are matching the word to the definitions.